Hi, this is part 2 of our tutorial on screencasting, and this time we're going to talk about the app Explain Everything. So let's get started. Explain Everything is kind of like EduCreations, only it has so many more features that the comparison kind of ends in that it's a screencasting app. Honestly, the differences are vast. So let's start talking about those right now. The first thing I want to show you, we're going to start with the toolbar off to the side. Okay, this right here, the hand is my selection toolbar. So anytime that I want to select and move anything, I need to be clicked on the hand. And you can see that that is selected right now, and that's what's allowing me to move my arrow around back and forth. Okay, so the hand is my selection tool. The next tool on the toolbar that we have is the page addition tool. So right down here, you'll see that I have my slides. So right now I have 7 slides. So if I come back up here and I hit that page addition tool, my slides change to 8. Okay. All right. Next, I have my pencil tool. And my pencil tool allows me to annotate anywhere I want to on the screen. By clicking and holding on that annotation tool or the pencil tool, I have some different choices. I can change my pen tip, and then I can change the width of my pen as well. In addition, I can come down here on the bottom to the little squares on the far left, and I can change the color. For instance, right now this color is red, but by clicking on this color, I can choose any color that I want to. So let's say that I choose green. Okay, then I can come out here on my screen and I can write anything that I want to write. All right, I'm going to come back up and click on my selection tool so that I can continue on. The next tool on our toolbar allows us to insert shapes. So again, to activate these tools, I'm just clicking and holding on them, and then that opens up my special window that I have. And I can insert any of these tools by tapping them and then touching my screen. And green is still selected at the bottom. I can choose a different color just by tapping on it. And then it went straight back to my pencil, so if I wanted another tool, I would have to click and hold it. Let's say that I picked the star. And when I let go, it would allow me to pick the star. Okay, I'm going to switch over to a clean page for you. And again, I would like to have an arrow. And here we go. My next tool is my text tool. So if I click and hold on my text tool, I can change my font, I can change my size, and I can choose to have a border around that text or not. So clicking on my font, I have a bunch of different choices for that font. Okay, I mean, the list really does go on and on and on. So let's choose a font. Then I can come back over and let's choose a color. And I can click and I can type anywhere that I wish to type. And then I have my alignment right here as well, so I can center it within my box, do whatever I want to. And then when I touch that little green check mark, it sets my type. And then that becomes movable, and I can move it wherever I want to on the page. By double tapping it again, I can open it again, and I can continue typing in it. And again, when I'm finished, I just hit the check bar. Make my arrow a little smaller. The next thing that we have the next tool on our toolbar. If I click and hold, this is where I add pictures, files, video, sound, all kinds of things. This is where I insert all my objects. So if I want to insert a photo or video, I can click on that and it takes me out to my camera roll. If you look along the bottom here, it'll also take me out to iTunes. It'll take me to Dropbox, Evernote, Google Drive, Box, SkyDrive. It really does. The nice thing about this app is it connects to so many different apps that you may or may not have accounts to. I don't know of anybody that doesn't have a Google Drive account these days. Really, I have a Dropbox, an Evernote, a Google Drive, an iTunes. Obviously, I have photos on my iPad. So honestly, if I have all of my accounts connected to this, I can pull all of those files in and really create a unique presentation if I want to. So right now I'm just going to connect to my camera roll by clicking on it. And let's say that I am working on changing the oil in a lawnmower. That is the class that I am working on right now. Okay, so I can move this. Again, I'm pinching and pulling. I can rotate it however I want to rotate it. I do have the tools right up here that are rotating. I can crop it however I'd like to, and then I just click done when I'm finished, and I can move that wherever I want to on the screen. I can continue to make that bigger or smaller, whatever I want to do on the screen. I can also annotate over the top of that however I wish to. Again, I can come back up here with my pen tool. I can point to it. I can point things out, like I might want to point out that I need to take off the nut for the blade. I might want to show where I need to take off the dumaflogy to take the nut off for the oil. You can see I know a whole lot about this. Maybe I need my own little video on how to change the oil on my lawnmower. But anyway, I could do all kinds of things if I was a student. Let's say that I had already been taught this, and my teacher wanted me to take my video clips that I had taken of myself changing the oil and wanted me to go back and explain piece by piece exactly what I did. Or let's say that I had a friend take pictures of me changing the oil, and now I'm making my own video tutorial on how I did it. That would be a great assessment piece that I could do. If I was the teacher and I wanted to make sure that I took pictures to show my students how to do it, I could do that as well. And then imagine if I had students who were absent and they needed to know exactly how to change the oil in this lawnmower. They would have a video that they could refer to time and time again until they made sure that they had it right. So there are several different possibilities with screencasts. Again, it doesn't just have to be teacher-centered. It's a great assessment piece, both summative and formative, for the students to use. The next tool, whoops, I didn't click on my hand tool, and you can see that right there. The next tool that we're going to use is the delete tool. And what's great about that is you click on the X and then you click on the thing that you want to delete and a little X comes up. When you click on the X, it disappears. So you can see I selected all of my little writing, my annotation, and I deleted it all. So that's what that X tool is. So if I clicked on the X tool and then I clicked on the picture, the little X would come up, and I can choose to delete it or choose not to, and I'm not going to delete that right now. The next tool in our toolbar is pretty nice. It is the laser tool, the laser pointer. So what's nice about that is when you're clicked on it, you can point to whatever you want to. So let's say that you've built your tutorial and you are just simply presenting your tutorial right now to your students. You can use this as a laser pointer from anywhere in the classroom. So you can be presenting from your iPad and you're in the back of the room and you can use your laser pointer just like this and highlight your points right from your iPad, and it can be projected into the front of the room. What's also nice is if you click and hold on this, you have several different options that you can choose from. So let's say that I want a true laser pointer. I can make it a true laser pointer that I can click on. The next option that we have is a really interesting tool, but the first thing that I need to do is come back up here and get a few extra things to add to our picture. So I'm going to come up and grab a shape, and then I think I'll come down here and add some text. Only let's change the color of that text. There we go. Great. Okay, now when we click and hold, that little eye with the dots around it that the arrow is pointing to, this allows you to layer different things. Okay, so you'll see bring to front, bring forward, send to back. Think of the Arrange tab that you have in your Microsoft Word or your Publisher or any of your different programs that you have, and you can use this to do kind of the same thing. So if I decided to click on Test and I said bring to front, now when I take Test, I can move it on top of the box. If I clicked on Test and said move to back, I can move it behind the box. So I could kind of create something like I did on the would on the smartboard. I could create click and reveal kinds of things on here if I wanted to. I can layer all my objects any way that I want to. So that's what the eye menu does. It allows me to click on it and then click on a subject and decide what I want to do. I can copy that and then I can click on OK. I can hit it again and then I can click on paste and then I'll have a second test. I could do the same thing with the picture. There's just all kinds of things that I can do with that one. The next thing that we're going to look at is the undo button. The undo button is one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. Okay, it just lets you undo multiple things that you've done. Okay, so it'll let you undo, clear back to one of the last things. You can see that it went clear back and took off the last test that I typed. So it will let you go several things. I think it'll even let me take back off the box. Yes, so it'll let you go back and back and back and back to undo several steps ahead of where you are. Okay, so that's the undo button. The undo button is your friend. Okay, this next tool, whoops, is pretty neat. And I'm going to open up a new page. We'll go to slide 4 for this one. And I'm going to grab my pencil tool. And I'll start working a math problem. So let's go 2 plus 2 equals 4. And I'll just continue working. Okay, and I want to continue to work on this math problem, all right? What's great about this is I can click on it and I can move it up to the corner and I can hit my pencil tool and I can continue to work. Okay? What's great about that is it gives you infinite space if you look at that. That's pretty fantastic. All right, you can zoom back in on it too. As long as you're clicked on that magnifying glass, you can zoom back in. So I can come back really big if I want to. I can also have almost infinite space on my sheet because I can come back here pretty small and I can continue to work. So imagine if this was a complicated if I was deep into science, if I was deep into math, and I had some pretty complicated material that I was dealing with, boy, I could have all kinds of information on just one slide. And I could really get into a complicated explanation and I could continue to make it smaller and have all of that information on the same slide. But if I wanted to go back to refer to it, I could come back and I could make sure that I clicked on that tab, and let me show you where that is. That tab, there it is. And once I did, I could make things bigger and smaller to come back and show you what I was talking about. And then I could put it back up in the corner and continue on about my way. So that is a fantastic tool that really does give you infinite space, almost like a Prezi, if you will, if any of you are familiar with using that. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and draw my arrow again. Turn him around. There we go. Okay, this is a nice tool in that it collapses everything. So let's say that I was presenting and I didn't want all of the rest of this around here because it was a little distracting to my audience. If I press this button, it all disappears. So the only thing that I have left is my laser pointer and my page advancers. So that's kind of nice. And then all I have to do is hit that again and I can see all of my tools. Okay. Again, down here we know that these are my different pen colors, so I can click on any of those that I want to. Fantastic. I advance my slides right down here, which is great. Right over here is my record button. And for some reason, I'm having struggles right now trying to get that to turn. It won't turn for me right now for whatever reason. And then this will tell me where I am in my recording, which is great. Now let's talk about these right over here. Okay. If I tap on that, that allows me to export my image. So just this image, if I want to my photo roll, my camera roll. I can export just this image to mail, to PDF, or to any one of these items right here. I can also click right here to show you some different options. Again, iTunes, Dropbox, Evernote, Google Drive, and then the more feature you can see along the side on the right there. I have lots more that I can choose. So the export features are incredible here. Okay. Now, next, I can export the whole thing into a movie. So I can export it to my camera roll. YouTube is 9 times out of 10 my favorite place to send things just because I don't have to worry about it. It becomes its own URL. I can make it public. I can make it private. I can, catalog all my videos in YouTube. I can have my own channels. To me, it's just easier that way. I've also uploaded movies to, obviously, Dropbox. I don't use Evernote for that very much. I do use Google Drive. Everything does have a limit, so that's why I do like YouTube quite a bit. You do run the risk there of, okay, you throw your videos all on YouTube. What if you have an internet outage? Then what do? You're stuck. That is true. What did we do before we had the internet? Okay, you improvise. We all know that we have to be flexible with technology, so there might be those days where you show up and none of your technology works. Oh my goodness, what do you do? Well, hopefully we're all creative, we're all teachers, so we don't use the technology that day. We get in there and we teach like we did in the old days. So that's just the way we roll. So that is what that button is for. Let's look at the next one. The next button, again, allows me to enter a project name, and this is my save button. And this allows me to save it to my iPad, and then again gives me another export button, but it's asking me to save it specifically. And then my home button takes me back to my home. Okay, and it's again warning me, hey, you haven't done anything with this. Now I can go back to slide 1 right over here. Okay, and if I was to record this, I'll just click on the record button, which I did just now, and you'll see that I'm recording it. My little record is going here. I'm going through my slides. I can talk about whatever I want to talk about here. I can move my arrow. I could talk about my math problem. I could add whatever I wanted to add. I could come in here and grab my pen and I could annotate, and I could discuss whatever I would want to discuss. Let's say that I could import PowerPoints that I've already created in here, which is fantastic. I don't have to start from ground zero with Explain Everything. I could import PDFs. I could import all kinds of information and work off of that. I don't have to ever start from scratch with Explain Everything, and that's what's fantastic. Again, I can start from scratch if I want to. So there are just so many options with it that it really is worth the $2.99 that they're asking for. So when I'm all finished, I hit the stop button, and that is when I'm prompted to export, like I've shown you down here in the corner, that it's, whoops, that it's asking me to export some things right down here. These are where I'm going to export and save, and then I'll give that link to whomever I would want to watch it, and I'm all done. So that's basically a tutorial for Explain Everything. I hope that has helped. It really can take you miles in the classroom. It's a great tool for differentiation. It's a fabulous tool for kids who have been absent, and really for kids who need to see a lesson again and again. You know, it'd be great if we could sit next to kids who need to see things more than once. And if we could be there next to them to tell them over and over again. But really, in today's society, we can't do that. You know, kids have after school obligations. They can't stay, they can't come in. Time is short for everybody. This is just such a great alternative to that. You know, at their leisure, they can sit down and watch it. They can, you know, if they don't have a device at home, they can always hit a library. They can watch it on a phone. They can watch it anywhere that has an internet connection. If you can upload it to YouTube or throw it in Google Drive, they can watch it anywhere that has an internet connection, which is fantastic. So let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.